So today I am going to walk you through some, let's see how many things, 4 or 5 things that you should be doing while you're preparing for the startup of your business. First, tonight we're going to talk about how to quickly tell if there is demand for business in your area. I think that's important. Secondly, we're going to talk about why it's important to understand how the business works behind the scenes before making an investment. Third, we're going to talk about understanding the investment, understanding the income potential so that you know what you're working towards, kind of important, right? And fourth, I'll show you why having a simple launch plan can make your business feel much easier. I bet you that you have, you've probably thought about starting your own moving box rental business, but maybe every time you start getting excited about it, that same thought keeps popping in your head. Let me know if this is you. I just need a little bit more time to save the money first. And I can't even tell you how often I hear that, like all the time. And so because of that, I find that your dream kind of big pause button, right? Everything is just on pause while you're trying to save up the monies. But today, I want to show you something really, really important. That waiting doesn't mean that you have to stand still and do nothing. So by the end of this class, you'll know exactly what you should be doing right now while you're saving up for your startup costs, while you're starting to save up for your investment, for the course and your inventory, all that stuff. While you're starting to put some money aside, there's some stuff you can do right now, and I can't wait to explain all of this to you. So if you're new here and you are wondering what a moving box business even is, let me quickly explain for you. So it's a simple local service where you're going to be renting reusable plastic moving bins to families that are moving. You deliver them before they move and you pick them up afterwards at their new place. I do coach women all across the United States and Canada to launch their own business, moving box businesses in their own communities. Just so you guys know, every single text that you receive from Carrie's courses, every single email you receive, it's coming from me. It's literally coming from my cell phone and my email, okay? It's not like I have this team of people sending messages. It's Carrie. So feel free to respond to those anytime you want. You're always going to get a reply from me, okay? So today I am going to walk you through some, let's see how many things, 4 or 5 things that you should be doing while you're preparing for the startup of your business. So there are, these are the exact things that smart future business owners that they focus on before they invest some serious money into a business. I'm sure you're curious to see what those are. So stick with me till the end, guys, because I'm gonna show you one simple step that you can make today that'll help you move forward and build some momentum, right? Let's get that momentum building up here, even while you're still saving some cash. So if we've not met before, my name's Carrie, and I help women all across North America start their own moving box rental businesses in their communities. I've now been in the rental industry since 2007, so, almost 20 years. And over the years, I've coached more than 120 women as they've launched businesses on their own. And, many of them started in the exact same place that some of you are at right now. They're excited about the idea, but they're still working towards the money to get started. Let me tell you something. When I first started my business journey way back when, I remember thinking how scary that it felt to invest money, like a lot of money, into something that didn't come with any guarantees. Right? And up until that point in my life, I had lots of guarantees, but now I had to face, okay, I no longer am going to have a boss telling me, yes, it's going to work. There was no longer a regular paycheck coming my way every single 2 weeks, right? It was just me deciding to take a chance on myself. And I'll be honest, not everybody in my circle believed that this business could work. So maybe you also have people in your life that are saying, I don't think it's a good idea. Hang in there and listen to what I have to say here, because even my own brother told me that he didn't think that this business would succeed, and obviously it has, right? But at the time when I was considering doing this moving box business, I was just so tired of the 9-to-5 grind. I was tired of commuting. And more than anything, I just wanted the freedom to be home with my kids, build something on my own. So I made a decision, and instead of waiting for everything to be a-okay, everything to feel perfectly safe, what I did is I started learning everything I could in advance about this opportunity. I started to pay attention to things. I started researching. I started figuring out how this business even worked. Is this gonna really fit into my life before just jumping right in? And step by step, things just started to come together. And by the time things started to come together, what do you know? I had saved my money and I was able to jump in right then and there, right? No time wasted. So that's exactly why I'm doing this training today, because even if you are saving for your future business right now, there are definitely some things that you can be doing right now that will help you move forward instead of just feeling stuck, waiting for that magical day you all of a sudden have all this money. So how many of you have ever wondered whether this business would actually work in your area? Because before anyone starts a business, one of the smartest things you can do first is figure out if people are actually looking for this type of service in your community. Because if there's no demand, then the business isn't likely to succeed, right? The good news for you, my friends, is that moving happens everywhere. It is not a fad, it's not a trend, not going out of style anytime soon. People just keep moving. I said this last week, whether there's a war, whether there's COVID, people keep moving. It never slows down. In fact, according to the US Census Bureau, they said that 31 million Americans move every single year, which is roughly like 1 in 10 people. Holy smokes. That is your audience. Those are the people you're marketing towards, 1 in 10 people. So when you think about that, you start to realize something, that moving is not this rare event. It is happening constantly in every single community. And every one of those moves needs something to pack up their stuff in, right? So one of the smartest things you can do while you're preparing to start this business is simply start paying attention to what's going on in your community right now. So check out how many homes are for sale right now. Now it is March, right now it's March 11th. We're just about to start the spring season where there's lots more coming on the market. But still, take a look around. How many houses are up for sale or up for lease right now? How many moving trucks do you see like nearing the end of the month or the very beginning of the month? You always see those. Anybody have free cardboard boxes? You see those all the time. And when you have your business, that is your opportunity to slide right in there and say, hey, I got something for you, right? So when you start paying attention like that, you're gonna quickly realize that there's a lot more activity happening around you than you think, right? Now, second thing we're gonna talk about is that when most people first hear about this business idea, they usually think, oh, it's pretty simple. I'm sure you thought the same, so did I. But what most people don't realize is there's actually a lot more that goes on with this business behind the scenes. Like, how does the scheduling work with customers? How do we organize deliveries and pickups? How does that all work? Like, what about the logistics of things? Where do I store all this inventory? Like, what kind of supplies should I be purchasing? What kind of vehicle makes sense? How much time will this business realistically take each week? And how does the whole system work so that the business runs nice and smooth? These are some good questions to be asking, right? These are the kind of details that really help someone determine if the business is a good fit for them. These are the types of things that you should be researching right now, because once you understand how everything works together, the business starts to feel much more clear and much more manageable. So let me move on to point 3. It's all gonna make sense in a second, so stick with me, okay? So when you think about starting a business, what is usually one of the very first questions people have? Money. How much does this cost, Carrie? It's like the number one question I get. How much? What kind of income could this business realistically make, right? These are the questions. How much is this gonna cost me? How much am I gonna make? Easy questions. And one of the smartest things that you can do while you're preparing to start this business is get a very clear understanding on the numbers, because every single business has some sort of a startup investment, right? Every business has some sort of a potential return, hopefully. But most people don't take the time to actually understand those numbers before just blindly jumping in. They either assume, cost too much, or they assume it'll make money, more money than it realistically will. And when you take the time to understand the investment as well as the income potential, you can make a much smarter decision about whether the business makes sense for you. So it also helps you create a very realistic plan for moving forward. Here's the fourth point I'm going to make, and then I'm going to tie it all together and it's all going to make sense to you. So before we talk about that final point, let me ask you something. So how many of you have ever had a business idea, but you weren't really sure what the first steps would even be to launch this thing, right? Type the word steps into the chat if that's something that you have experienced. And I'm not even just talking about the moving box idea. I mean, all your years of being an adult, when you've come across some businesses, you're like, that's an awesome business, I should totally do that. And then the next question is, how would I even do that, right? Because one of the biggest reasons that people never start a business is because they don't have a clear plan, right? They like the idea, they get excited about the opportunity, but they don't know what first steps to take. So the dream kind of ends up just sitting on that back shelf back there. But when you have a simple step-by-step plan, everything else starts to feel much more manageable. You can visually see that path forward. You know what comes first, you know what comes next. And suddenly this business feels much more achievable, right? And so that's why having a very clear launch plan is one of the smartest things that you can do to focus on while you're preparing your finances and getting everything in order. So I'm gonna kind of summarize things and then kind of bring it all together. So those four things that we just talked about, first we talked about understanding whether there is demand for this type of business in your area, because before anyone invests money into a business, it's really important to understand the opportunity in your own community, right? Secondly, we talked about understanding how the business actually works behind the scenes. Businesses from the outside, it can look simple to set it up, but there are some very important details that help the business run smoothly. I like to pride myself that I gave myself this nickname, by the way. You guys give yourself nicknames anytime? I did. I gave myself the nickname of Automation Queen. I like to make things as easy as possible so that I can work less and enjoy life more. Who wants to be behind a computer all day answering phone calls and doing administrative stuff when there's ways to automate things and make it a lot easier to run, right? It's not about taking shortcuts. It's about how can I simplify things and make things more efficient. Third, we talked about understanding the investment and the income potential, because before starting any business, it's really important to know your numbers. You gotta know your numbers before you jump in. And fourth, we talked about having a very clear plan for how someone would actually launch the business, because without a plan, most people, they just stay stuck in that idea stage. Starting a business isn't just about liking the idea. It's about having the right information before you invest your money, your hard-earned money. And that is why I created something called the 5-step roadmap. Let me tell you a little bit about it. Before I even get into the details, I just want to tell you, it's 22 bucks. It's like barely anything, okay? 22 bucks. The information that I have inside this roadmap represents around almost $800 worth of training, but I'm selling it for 22. It's very dirt cheap right now. The reason being is I wanted to create a very affordable first step for you guys, who are saving up for the full program, saving up for their inventory in order to start this business. This is like a beginning step to take before you just jump in and you're like ready to go. It's not a big investment at all, and it's not a huge commitment either. It's a very simple, small step for people that want to learn about the opportunity and start to build that momentum, right? So let me tell you a little bit about it. Inside the roadmap, there's 5 things I'm gonna teach you. So first, I'm gonna walk through the most important things that someone should understand before starting this business, like how to check demand in your area, how the business actually works behind the scenes, how to understand the logistics, what sort of things should I be considering right now, what sort of numbers should I be looking at, as well as what launching the business could realistically look like. And the best part is that you can get through the entire roadmap in like a day or 2. And have you ever had a business idea, but you didn't know what steps to take first? Have you had? I know you've all had that idea. Oh, that's a good idea. I should totally do this business someday. But when you start to think about it, it's like, I wouldn't even know where to start. And now it's overwhelming and you kind of abandon that idea. I'm trying to think, has that happened to me? I'm sure it has. You know, when you're an entrepreneur, your mind never stops, right? You always see these opportunities. You're like, oh, that's a good one. Oh, I like that over there. So yeah, listen, ladies, you know, I appreciate you sticking with me till the end here. If you are sitting there thinking, I'd like to start learning more about this business while I'm starting to save, you know, in order to start the business, the best next step, honestly, it's the 5-step roadmap. It makes the most sense to me anyways. It's only $22, so the risk is like incredibly low. And it will give you a very clear understanding of the opportunity and how the business works. And you know, like I said, you can go through it in 1 or 2 days, like really, really fast. And it's really gonna help you start to build that momentum while you're preparing to start the business. Don't let the fact of, oh, I don't have the funds right now, today on March 11th, stop you from making some sort of progress, right? Remember, it's only $22, so it's a very small step to get that clarity that you're likely looking for and to start making some progress towards your future business. So now some of you might be thinking differently. You might be thinking, Carrie, I don't need that roadmap. I want to go all in and I'm ready to start my journey now. So some of you are like that. If that is you and you want to learn more about the full program where I coach women step by step through launching this business, then type the word course in the chat, okay? When you type the word course, I'm going to personally reach out to you and we can chat later on about whether this program is a good fit for you. But if you're still in the research phase, and just want to start learning more while you're preparing, type the word map and I will send you the roadmap link. So yeah, ladies, you know, today we talked about something very important. We talked about what you can be doing right now while you're preparing to start your business. We talked about understanding whether there's demand in your area, learning how the business actually works behind the scenes, very important to look into. You want to make sure it's a good fit for your family. Understanding the investment, the income potential, and as well as having a very simple launch plan so that the whole process feels much less overwhelming. So, you know, the truth is that starting a business, it doesn't happen overnight. It starts with learning and preparing and building that momentum. And that's exactly what the 5-step roadmap helps you do. So if you would like some help to start moving forward and learning more about this opportunity, just type the word map, ladies. That's all you got to do. And I'll send you the link. And if you're already thinking that you'd like to skip the roadmap and you want to learn about the full program, type the word course and I'll absolutely reach out to you. Either way, I'm very excited for you because I've seen what happens when ladies finish my course and they start to get their first sale and how exciting that is, and to see it grow over time. It's like the best feeling from a coach's perspective, to see that all that time that you put into your students over the 4 months, it really turned into something really fantastic for someone else. It's so much fun. But yeah, very, very excited for you. The fact that you're here today means that you're already thinking about creating something better for yourself. And I think that's always the first step that you should take. If you have any questions, just type it in, even if it's like an hour from now and you're like, oh, I should have asked Carrie that. Just type it in and I'll respond. So thank you so much for hanging out with me once again, and we will see you guys next Wednesday. Bye.